What's going on? It's Mike from 424recording.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make your own DIY cassette tapes at home from start to finish. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, you nerd. We got the tapes. Can you tell I'm excited? What tapes are those? These tapes are for a very special project. I decided to get them from Duplication CA. Variety is the spice of life. So much bubble wrapping. Oh man. Oh man. This is pretty sweet. I think a nice little bed. Maybe the cats will want that. You guys want this? All right, let's see what we got. So you may remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, Brian and I did a special live stream. And maybe you know this, or maybe you don't, but I actually recorded it to my 424. So what these beautiful cases are going to be for is a live Be Cool Cowboy tape. If you want one, the tapes I'm making in this video are available at becoolcowboy.bandcamp.com. It features the full set from the live stream recorded to the Tascam 424, plus a bonus track and a bonus chapbook as well. One thing that Duplication CA does, which seems really cool, is let's pop this open. Can you see it? Can you see it? I think you can kind of tell, but what they do is, oh man, these are really wrapped up. Can you see it? Can you tell what I'm about to say? Random colors. So the first thing we need to know about our tape is, how long is it gonna be? Because otherwise, we can't order the tapes yet. So I bounced my tracks into Logic from the 424, and here you can see where I cut up the different tracks. I did this whole process pretty quickly because this tape came together really fast. And once you figure out side A, the thing to usually do is look at your side B, and then here's a little bit of banter right here at the end. And then right here is a bonus track that I included because, you know, otherwise the sides would have been uneven. So what I figured out was my tape was roughly, I think, like 21 minutes long total. So it was 10.5 minutes a side. And then I just bounced it down based on that. In terms of mastering, I didn't do really too much. You can kind of see here, I just bumped a little bit of the low end on all of the tracks and took out a little bit of the highs. So all that's left to do after you figure out the lengths of the sides of your tape is make sure side B matches side A by including some sort of special bonus track or instrumental track, just something to fill out the other side of the tape so that the tape sides are equal. Like, that's the biggest thing you have to think about when you're making a tape. And when it comes to the master, you're gonna have to listen, record some tracks to the tape, and decide, you know, is this too bassy? Is this too trebly? I just go by really simple EQ curves, and tapes I found generally are much more bassy than a lot of other mediums, so they accentuate the bass. So you have to really keep that in mind and do a couple copies where you're listening back, playing it in different locations, and, you know, figure out what sounds the best for your material and for your tapes that you have. So once you figure out the length of side A, just double it, and that will be the C length of your tape. One other quick thing to note is that I did mix and master the tracks a little bit to this strokes track right here. Hard to explain at the top here. I think it's always really useful to master your tracks to some sort of reference track so that you get an idea of the sound that you're going for and where things should be sitting in the mix. One other thing to note is the reason I bumped up the bass on this particular tape master is because my tracks don't have bass. The songs that I performed on the live stream were just basically Lin 9000 drum sample sounds, which is just a kick drum, snare, and hi-hat cymbals. And then it was a guitar and my vocals. So I didn't really have anything sitting in that like lower bass, lower mids range. So that's why I decided to bump that up in the final master. So the first thing you need is a hand-drawn pick of Mac on top of your tape deck to make sure he looks over the recording of your tapes. Now your tapes are probably going to come tabs out like these, meaning there's two holes in the top that you have to cover. These tabs, when they're out, are basically write protection on the tapes. You won't be able to record to them if you don't cover those holes up. So once you cover them up, put them in your deck, and then I always advance the tape by about 5 ticks because there's leader tape in the beginning of the tapes. that you can't record to. So if you try to record to it, your material will be cut off in the beginning. After that, hit stop. On this particular machine, you hit record and pause together. You get your material queued up on my old iPhone, and you hit play on the deck and play on your iPhone, and boom, we're recording to the tape. On this particular tape, I recorded it to about +3, +5 peaks. That sounded the best. You know, with the tape stuff, you can usually go a little bit louder than 0. It really just depends on the tapes and when you listen back to them, if you can hear it distorting or not. Once your first side is done, pop the tape out, switch it up to side B, and then we're gonna rinse and repeat. So we gotta advance the tape by 5 ticks again, because there's leader tape on this side as well. And then once you're done with that, you hit stop, get the machine ready to record, get the iPhone out, press play on the deck, press play on the iPhone, and you're good to go. This is probably the best use for old iPhones, dubbing tapes. So once your tape is done, take it out. That looks pretty good. I'm just gonna take this tape off so that I can reuse it. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and then yeah, that's it. Put it in there and we're good to go. That one's almost ready. We just gotta write on it. All right, all right, all right. For these tapes, I wanted them to have a very DIY kind of vibe to them. And these are actually the tapes that I use to record the live stream with. They're the National Audio Company Studio Master Tapes Type 2s. They're not available anymore, but these are the ones that I've used for years. And they come with this J card that allows you to write down like side 1, side 2, all the different information. So I thought it would be really cool to try to make this tape replicate these studio master tapes that I used to record the session with. I thought it would be like a cool, fun vibe, and I don't know, I've never really made a project like this, so I thought it would be cool. And also the DIY nature of the project, I just decided to use basically just printer paper. It's a little bit thicker maybe than normal paper, but one of the benefits to this design too is that because this was already a J card, it was really easy to know where this needed to get folded. And this is some artwork my buddy Jason did on a whim actually, and fit the tape really well, so I decided to put it on the inside cover. Maybe it should have been the outside cover. That's all I kind of wanted to do, just keep it really simple. Like I said, this project came together really quickly, but this is a really easy way if you use some sort of existing J card or existing J card template like the ones on National Audio Company. Those are actually linked in the Discord if you want to come through the 424 Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. But you'll need some sort of template, and this is a really elegant solution, I think. It was really simple, and like I said, I wanted it to have a very homemade DIY vibe and give a little bit of flavor from these like live tapes that I use to record the set with. In terms of writing on the tapes, I just went down to my local art store and got these Sharpies, a gold and a silver one here. And it came out pretty good, I think. I think they all look pretty cool. And like I said, it kind of goes along with the whole aesthetic of this release. I just wanted it to be quick, DIY, homemade vibe to it. And I think all the different colors from Duplication CA came out really cool. Some of the marker translated better to different tapes. Like I think this one looks really cool. This one came out really good. The silver one is really hard to see. The red one, it was kind of tough to, like the marker didn't take as good to it. It was odd. I think there's like different types of materials on these tapes that they're made of, different plastics. So not all of them came out perfect, but like I said, given the nature of this project and given the nature of my goals as a person, I'm not really looking for perfection. I'm just looking for completion. As Voltaire said, perfection is the enemy of the good. I think it was a great experiment. I think they came out really cool, and I think they look really good all together, and I'm really happy with how it came out overall. But so Sharpies are just like a really simple way that you can write onto your tapes, and depending on what you're going for, it may fit the aesthetic perfectly. So one thing I decided to do was include this bonus chapbook with the tapes. It's always good to include some extra goodies for people, and this one is just like an ebook I wrote a few years ago, and I never printed it up, and decided, hey, I got that whole ebook, let me print up some copies and just include them with the tape. You know, I think this will be a really fun read for people who haven't read it yet. And it also goes along with the aesthetic because Jason did some artwork for this too, which is really cool. So thanks, Jason. That's a cool one, Silver Surfer style. Hey, so that about wraps it up for the DIY tape making. If you like these kind of videos and want to see more of them out there, check me out on Patreon at patreon.com/424recording. You get exclusive access to my Patreon only feed, and it helps out a lot with the channel, even like $1 a month. So If that's something you do and are interested in, hit me up. If not, snag a tape. That helps out too. And we'll see you on the next one. Special thanks to Jason from Painted Blonde Tapes for all his help and artwork. And we actually made a series last summer on this topic too. So if you want to check that out, just head to my channel page, or you can check out the playlist linked in the description below. Special thanks to Steve, Jody, and all my patrons at patreon.com/424recording for all their support. We'll see you on the next one. Godspeed, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day, and make sure you do something you want to do, okay?